spent so many years hearing all about the praise of this particular show. And it's not that I never wanted to check it out. I've always been curious about it, especially after hearing such high praise from very trusted sources. It's simply because, a lot like all these Karate Kid movies, I just haven't had the time. Well, until now, because that ends today. Today, if my pigs can be quiet, if they can be quiet, we are finally starting our season-long look-through of Cobra Kai. What was originally a series that was exclusive to YouTube Premium, now turned by Season 3 into a Netflix exclusive. Yeah, it's a bit complicated and there's a lot to talk about, so let's go through it step by step, starting with the very first season, picking up 30 years after the end of Karate Kid 3. So, yes, unfortunately, that piece of crap is still canon. Thankfully, the fourth one isn't, though, so count for small blessings. Anyway, with all that said and done and out of the way, let's talk about it, and why this first season is really, really good. What's up, what's happening, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, which is for anything and everything animation, including insert tagline here, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to Kah-Rah-Tay May. Hey! Kah-Rah-Tay May. And today we are looking at the first season of Cobra Kai, which is pretty freaking good, dude. From episode 5 onwards in the show, I saw what others were seeing. I finally saw what they were all talking about, is what I'm saying. Because this first season alone has me hooked on the show. It's that good and that well done. So, let's start with a basic plot synopsis before we really get into the review. So, as I said, this takes place 30 years after the events of Karate Kid 3. And ever since those times, Johnny Lawrence has become a handyman. Daniel LaRusso has built up a family and a whole automotive insurance company. And Mr. Miyagi has passed away. Because, the actor passed away. Naturally. And after what happened at the end of of Karate Kid 3, Cobra Kai has been disbanded, disavowed, and, well, pretty much just done. That is, until Johnny Lawrence is fired from his job, and he ends up saving this kid named Miguel from a bunch of bullies, after he tried to get some Pepto for his grandmother. And after kicking the hell out of these bullies, Johnny ends up going to jail, because since this is taking place in modern times, they think that he just beat them up for no reason. And eventually, he ends up taking in Miguel as a disciple and reopening Cobra Kai, which then also not only brings LaRusso on his ass, but also gives him a bunch of new students, including a bunch of Miguel's friends, such as Hawk, this guy with a cleft lip that ends up getting this giant mohawk, and a ton of others. Sorry, I don't remember all their names. I'm still trying to remember that. You gotta remember, I only have a time for one watch through of each season. So, because of that, I'm gonna have to skim on some details. But that's the basic premise. Johnny reopens Cobra Kai to try and bring honor back to Cobra Kai, and ends up taking in this young kid that he ended up saving, and the two of them develop a sensei-student relationship. And of course, since this is a modern show, you do get your modern high school drama crap, but it's actually a lot better than most shows do it, because it feels a lot more, I guess, natural is the word I'm looking for. But Anyway, regardless, that is the basic premise of Cobra Kai Season 1. Now for the actual written review, because I have a lot of positives to say. So, you ready? Buckle up, here we go. While I've heard all about this show over the past few years from numerous different people on the internet, most namely Sean Chandler and Austin Burke, I still had no clue what to expect going into this first season of this 6-season-long YouTube Premium exclusive turned Netflix mainstay, continuing the story 3 decades after the blunders of parts 3 and 4. But now that I have finished this first season, I am beginning to see its appeal. Cobra Kai Season 1 is absolutely, unequivocally, and to quote Johnny himself, badass, and does a great job continuing the Karate Kid saga. Phenomenal acting, especially from Blue Beetle himself. Apologies if I'm about to mispronounce your name. Zolo Maraduena? Sorry for mispronouncing. I am definitely mispronouncing your name. And Ralph Macchio as an all-grown-up Daniel LaRusso. I really like this adult version of Danny. He's matured, he's humble, but he still has a grudge itching in the back of his head. Excellent storytelling that is damn near movie quality. Like, this storytelling, it's up there with the first 2 Karate Kids. It's very, very good. Incredible soundtrack of 80s rock. They definitely keep that 80s theme despite it taking place in modern time because they have so much 80s music. And it's not just Season 1, all of them have that. Superb writing that is both adult and quirky. Like, this show is mature, and you do hear a lot more swearing than you did in any of the Karate Kid movies. But it's also quirky and doesn't lose that fun, cheesy tone. Perfect slow burn pacing, because this season's whole build-up is to the tournament where Cobra Kai is going to need to prove themselves. And the build-up to that is excellent. Awesome action with a huge focus on hand-to-hand combat. The action is what makes this show so badass. Like, the way it's choreographed, the way it's shot, the music that they put with it, the moves that the actors and stunt performers do. Like, it is awesome, dude. It is some of the best action in this entire franchise. It is so freaking good. Great runtime at 30 minutes or less per episode, resulting in a very easy, brisk 5 hours in total. Yes, this is not one of those shows that's 40 plus minutes per episode like the MCU stuff. This one is a lot easier to get through because it's only 10 episodes and each one's like a half hour long or less. None of them go over a half hour. So it's very brisk and easy to sit through. Lots of wonderful tributes to the original movie, especially a touching tribute to Pat Morita in episode 5. Like, this whole show opens up with a recap of the final battle from the first movie. And then in episode 5, they have a little adverb at the end, paying tribute to Pat Morita and Mr. Miyagi. And it's also great to see how Miyagi still continues to influence Daniel LaRusso, even years after he passed away. It's really something wonderful to behold, and his tribute is very touching. They did a great job with that. Even though they do tribute to him a little more in seasons 2 and 3, but that's besides the point. Some of the best character dialogue that I've heard in a while. None of it's actually all that, and none of it's cringe. Like most of these modern shows, it's not cringe. Like, so many modern shows nowadays have that dialogue that feels like it's pushing some kind of agenda. This show, however, its dialogue pulls no punches and shows no bullshit. Like, it is straight and to the point, and it doesn't lose that feel of being part of Karate Kid. I know, it sounds really hard to explain, but trust me, it is some of the best character dialogue I have heard in any show in a while. A riveting finale. When we get to the All Valley tournament that this is all building up to, doesn't disappoint. Very high rewatchability. I can see myself rewatching this immediately after rewatching the first 2 movies. Very often, as a matter of fact. Ridiculously funny humor. Like, this show is funny, and it's not like in a so bad it's good kind of funny. Like, it's genuinely funny. And the way that it actually pokes fun at modern bullshit, like, that is when I knew that this show was something special. And throwing every single cliche out the window to make its plot as unpredictable as possible. Like, literally in episode 2, they have a girl trying out the dojo, and Johnny says no girls. And by the end of the episode, he sees that girls can be just as badass as guys, and he lets her join Cobra Kai. Sorry, I just spoiled that. Not to mention that the female character that they introduce in that second episode is a lot of fun. She is a legitimately great character that I love watching. That being said, though, it's not perfect. There are still some flaws here that we do need to address. The high school scenes are mediocre. It's like every high school scene that you see in every single show ever. It's not that special. It's not that unique. And outside of the Karate Kid name, it just feels like every other high school drama. It's better than some of them because it's not cringe, but it's still mediocre. The actress playing LaRusso's daughter was not very good. I'm sorry to be harsh, but I did not buy her performance at all. The side characters are very hit or miss. Some, like Hawk, I absolutely love, and other ones, more on the fence. And every now and then, there's a joke that just doesn't land. And that's common with pretty much any show. A show that's this funny, every now and then you're gonna have a joke that either doesn't work or just goes over your head. Overall, though, this is as great of a first season as you can get, and it's no wonder it got picked up for another 5 afterwards. It's a more than worthy addition to the franchise, and it washes out the bad taste left from the back-to-back dumpster fires of Karate Kid 3 and the next Karate Kid. Again, stupid-ass title. I seriously cannot recommend it highly enough. It is a must-see for fans. If you're a fan of Karate Kid, you're gonna dig this show. At least this first season. And if you end up not liking it despite that, well, that's okay. At least you tried. But trust me when I say, it gets even better in seasons 2 and 3. So, with all that said and done, let's get into the final verdict now, that we're almost 15 minutes in. Final verdict for Cobra Kai Season 1 is a high, well-deserved, but still room for improvement, 8 out of 10. It's a great show, it's really entertaining, and I really enjoyed this first season. It got me hooked, I started to see the appeal that everyone else was talking about, and now I can't wait to review the rest of it. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Not quite at green heart of approval level yet, but I'm sure it'll get there eventually. See you next time for Cobra Kai Season 2.